Yo, it's Go, and welcome to the video. I stepped back into Molten Core for the first time in Phase 2. I went in there in Phase 1 to see how many of the bosses I could solo and get down just by myself. And back in Phase 1, it was the first 3 bosses. Now I've gone back to my arch nemesis of Phase 1, Garr. Ads have like around 61,000 HP each, and there's 8 of them, and they hit for about 450 per melee swing. So when all 8 of them and the boss are all hitting at the same time, I tried and just kept wiping. It's really hard to get enough AoE damage to burst them down before I fall over. So after I died a couple times, I went out, got an elixir, got my food buff, put on a couple pieces of PvP gear, and tried it again. I start the fight by getting both of my hots on me, my regrowth, rejuve, and then drinking back up to full mana. After I'm topped back off, I get my potion popped, cast a couple wraths on one of the ads that I marked with a skull, and then I'm popping Starfall, Insect Swarm on the ad, Hyperspeed, Bark Skin, and Hurricane. Try to do as much AoE damage to all of these ads while also trying to single target one of them down just to start taking less damage. After the first Typhoon, all the ads can be knocked back. Garr will not knock back, but getting those 8 ads off, or 7 if I've killed the first one, is really important. And then I can Nitro Boost away after they've close the gap back up into melee range while I'm getting all of my hots back on myself to survive. It takes a couple more hurricanes to get the rest down. I didn't pre-clear this room, which I would suggest maybe you do, because these knockbacks right here, I got really lucky not to pull any extra ads. So my health is looking pretty good. I'm popping my Innervate. I'm already almost out of mana, and there's still a couple ads left. But at this point, most of the ads are down, so I'm not taking any threatening amount of damage really quickly. I can kind of just keep my hots up on myself and slowly move back into the back of the room, away from that trash that I didn't pre-clear. Now that all the ads are done, all that's left is Garr, but I'm left with no mana, no Innervate, no potion. So my strategy for the rest of the fight was to try to melee, get clear casting procs, use the 5-second rule so that I'm out of combat for 5 seconds and then start regening mana. I'm trying not to use any spells for as long as I can. And then once I get about half HP, I've got a couple thousand mana. That's when I try to re-heal myself, get the hots back up. I can pop Bark Skin, get back into Moonkin form. Maybe I have a clear casting proc from meleeing, and I can use Starfall, which is a really expensive mana spell, put up Insect Swarm to get a little dot rolling, and just try to survive. So the total fight length was 7.5 minutes. But after I went out and got all of the consumes, I one-shot the boss. The main thing to getting Garr down was bursting those ads in the opener, and just having enough armor and stamina to survive their initial damage. After that 7.5 minutes, I give a little fist bump as Garr goes down, got 3 pieces of loot, and I didn't realize that the boss doesn't drop any gold. No binding on this attempt. That's not really what I was here for. Now I'll be going on to Baron to try to take down the other boss that can drop a binding. So until I get that boss down, good luck on your solos.